Hey traders and investors, welcome to another Studama's Trades episode. Today is Thursday afternoon, approximately 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I thought it worthwhile to give you a quick update here before the weekend. Seeing this most recent price action, especially on Bitcoin, you can see Bitcoin, these last two candles really shot up here. And so we're going to talk about that in this episode and what's possibly going on, mostly from a technical basis. And we'll just run through our leaders on the indicator board to kind of see if we can get a scope on what we can expect here, especially for our crypto market, because you guys all know that's what I want to focus on. And really, if we have some time at the end of this episode within the 20-minute scope, I'm going to go ahead and run through some of the altcoins that I'm looking at. And actually, I'm not really tracking them, but I want to show you what you can look for if you're looking to get back into some of these more speculative investments, as CNBC would deem it. Anyways, let us get started here. Jump straight to the chart. We'll get back to this Bitcoin chart in just a second. Want to start off, as always, with the dollar. Those of you who have been following me know that I have been posting quite a bit more recently, and that's mainly because of what's going on. And most of my posts are static posts, in other words, non-video posts that you can read, and you can see those posts at my website, which is going to pop up here in just a second again. So head on over there if you want to get all of my content, studom.us. Anyways, with the dollar here, we tested it. We tested the macro uptrend once as resistance. Remember, we broke through over here, back here in January, the end of January. And once we broke through, you can see right here, really big candle down. That big red candle, that was confirmation that this macro uptrend line is no longer something that the dollar is going to depend on. We had been depending on that since May of 2021. All right, so the dollar really came down hard, and that big candle proved that that line was significant. And then what we did was we came all the way down to this descent. You see this black line here? Let's see, that comes all the way back. I think that's years and years worth of, I'm going to have to zoom out here to the weekly to even track where I originally started that one. Let me just see here. That goes all the way back from 1982. All right, so you can see there was a pivot here in 1982. Another one here, we broke below, then back over here in 2001. So that is very significant. Is that the line that I'm even looking at? I don't think it is, actually. No, we're looking at this steeper declining line here, which also comes from the 80s. In this case, it's March of 84. Again, big confirmation candle here on the weekly. It passes the same, intersects the exact same area in 2001, 2002. And really, that's what we're currently looks like using as now support. All right, so I got to zoom back over and get my chart back in and hit that once we broke below this macro uptrend line. And I do expect that you can see the dollar has come back up really it's just gone sideways, but it's come back up and decided to test once again that macro uptrend line. I don't expect we break through it to the upside. In fact, I think at some point the dollar bulls are going to exhaust here and then come back down, and we'll go ahead and retest that long trending descending support line. All right, again, I don't know that the dollar will actually break through it, so that's why I said it's a proposed future target. And what I've said in my last videos is that I do expect the dollar kind of just hovers below this macro uptrend, and really this resistance here, well, it's support right now, but it will become resistance at 103, and kind of just bounces around in this area for the next year. I don't really expect anything big out of the dollar. I think it just kind of will hover above this what I call proposed future target, this long trending descending support, and just under 103. All right, so that indicates that the Fed will probably pause at some point here, which is what I'm expecting, and that's what the chart is showing me as well. Okay, and what is the VIX doing? Let's zoom out a little bit, and you can see we have somewhat of a bullish wedge here. Now we're nearing the bottom of that wedge, and so we could just come all the way down and then hit the top side of that before we project out. But pending any big event, and I know we've had a lot of weird stuff happen in the news, I'll just say it that way, but the VIX here is really what predominates. The fear factor on the VIX is mostly thoughts about what the Fed is going to do in the future and how the dollar is reacting, along with those 10-year and 2-year treasuries. All right, we'll get to those in just a second. Let's just jump over to the US 500 here. And you guys know I've been tracking this break above the macro downtrend, break above the macro uptrend, came back down, tested that perfectly here, that macro uptrend line, and now we continue to move up into what I anticipate this year to be a blow off top. It does seem to be coming to fruition, and you guys are all going to think this is some sort of magic here when it happens. But what I do hope I'm actually wrong about is what comes after that blow off top. All right, so I do expect sometime this year we beat the previous highs of November 2021, enter S&P 5,000, 5,500, possibly even 6,000 before a larger looming recession. On to the 10-year Treasury. 10-year Treasury is strong, so we have to watch that because that's indicating, some possible continued strength in the dollar. And now if the dollar breaks back above that macro uptrend line, that will become support again. All right, and so we have to watch that closely. Right now, my bias is that it won't. But that's just my bias. That's just from what I'm seeing everywhere else. If the Fed comes in and continues its aggressive tone about continued rate hikes, etc., then we will see the dollar follow the treasuries, and it will continue up as it is doing here. What could happen on this 10-year treasury is we proceed up and then come back down for the classic retest. And if that does not hold, we possibly could break that and come below it. But that's all in the future here, several weeks / months. Let's see what the 2-year is doing, because that's a shorter term indicator here for our dollar. And the US 2-year is also looking very strong. I don't have anything drawn here unless it's just not populated yet. But it looks like we were in some sort of a channel and broke above that channel. You can see with that green candle. So that was a bull flag, actually. And again, same thing with the 2-year treasury. We could trend up and then come back down and test the top side of that channel as support before we either continue up, or if that channel doesn't hold, we break below it. All right. That all depends upon what Jay Powell and company is going to do. And unfortunately, that's what the whole U.S. market and therefore the whole globe is hanging upon. That seems like a lot of power, doesn't it? Maybe too much? I won't get into that. All right, we're here 10, almost 11 minutes. Let's just jump over to Bitcoin. I will talk about what I have been posting very quickly. Then we'll just skim through some of the altcoins here. All right, so I proposed what could happen here, and I wasn't sure. I just saw this. When we came up to this 24,200, which I had as resistance, I expected we come back down and retest one of these major trend lines as support. And I was hoping we could get all the way down to the 200 again, but we did not. We came down to 21,200, 21,300. At that point, I told you all that that is a good place to dollar cost average in, and we could go lower, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to, say that with any amount of conviction, because we all know Bitcoin does its own thing half the time. But then I thought to myself, well, if it comes down and retests that support, then it could form that handle. So it was at this point, when we were up here, that I drew out what I anticipated might become a nice cup and handle pattern. Well, today we broke that neckline, the neckline of the handle, and that is a positive sign. I'm not going to get too bullish on it yet. I want to see another candle or two form to provide confirmation that we will stay above the 24,200 mark. And if we can get candles closing above this area here, then it is a hugely bullish sign. All right, now how I will play this, I've had several in my subscribers chat room ask me how I'm going to play this. Of course, the target is way up here at 33,000 to possibly even 36,000. Anywhere under this brown ascending trend line would be the final target. But this 30,000 is going to provide a significant resistance. So I'm still holding my Bitcoin and my Ethereum. And the way I'm going to play this is probably take some off, maybe up to half, anywhere from 25% to 50% off the top as profit in this area, waiting for a little bit of a pullback, because I don't expect we'll go right through that. I don't know where we'll come down to. I'll have to reanalyze that, maybe 27,000, somewhere in that area. I would re-enter again and then hold all of that until we hit our final target. All right, at which point I will for sure unload almost 100% of my Bitcoin and Ethereum because this brown line is very significant. I would wait for a pullback there and re-enter. But that's all in the future. This is just what I'm seeing right now. If we can get one or two more candles closing above this 24,200 neckline, showing us that this cup and handle pattern is actually a legitimate breakout indicator for us. All right, so then what Bitcoin does, the rest of the market will do. And you can see down here on the RSI, it's breaking above this ascending trend line down here as well. So lots of good confirmation that this could in fact be a legit cup and handle pattern, taking us all the way to the underside of this brown line. All right, so watch this closely, guys. Have this mapped out. Let me just review real quick where that brown trend line comes from. That comes all the way back from, actually, I think we hit that in our COVID crisis, all right, March of 2020. And that was used as support for a long, long time. And then when we broke below it, we really broke hard. And that was during the, I believe, was that the Luna fiasco, I think it was, and it really took us down below, and now we've resided under that ascending trend line, I don't anticipate we would just break right through to the upside either. That's why I'm going to take 90-100% of my profits at that point. Again, I'll probably take profits here at 30,000, re-enter those profits down here around 27, wait for us to go up to 33 to 36,000 when I start unloading 100% of my Ethereum and Bitcoin as a good trade. And just stay tuned on my website. I will post those trade alerts as I make them. All right, and now we have less than 5 minutes to quickly go through some of the altcoins. Really, I just want to show you anyways what to watch for. See this cup and handle pattern? Let's see if we can spot it on some of our altcoins. And here we are in ADA, and you can see it's not a cup and handle pattern, but I'm going to get out my highlighter. This is more like an inverse head and shoulders, which kind of plays the same way. All right. So again, you take the measurement between the neckline and the bottom of that head to approximate where you're going to break out, and that'll give you a target. Looks like we're going somewhere up here in this area with ADA. So I know I'm doing this real quick. That's because I'm running out of time, but I've done this many times, numerous times in my past videos. So I don't want to continue to rehash the way that I chart and show you how to chart these things. ApeCoin. All right, so here I have the inverse head and shoulders pattern drawn out for you on ApeCoin. Now, when is it confirmed? We're still in this right shoulder pattern here. It's not confirmed until you see a breakout above this neckline. And then you really want to see 1-2 more candles close above that neckline to confirm that this pattern is in fact intact. Now, I've already taken the measurement from the neck to the top of the head, and that gives us a target here of around $10 or greater on ApeCoin. Those who are more risk averse might want to start to dollar cost average in here, expecting a break. But typically the way you want to do this, guys, is you really want to wait for that confirmation, especially in bear markets like this. And that's when you start to make your entries, and that's good profit there. You're looking at greater than 40% profit, so $6 to $10. I mean, that's almost actually that's 80%, 80, 85, almost 90%, depending on where we end up. I mean, you could even go up to $12 and almost double this thing. All right, so great profit there. But these are the patterns you're looking at: inverse head and shoulders patterns and cup and handle patterns. So if you can spot those on any of these altcoins, you're in good shape to begin entry. Again, you really want to wait for confirmation on a lot of these. But I'm seeing inverse. See this? This is the start of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. We have the right shoulder forming here. Haven't broken that neckline. Again, you'd want to see 1, 2, 3 candles, or maybe just 2, depending upon how risk averse you are. And then measure that sucker from the neckline to the top of the head. You'll get your target at approximate breakout, which is the neckline there. Looks like that one's going to 350-ish or so. All right, that's the way you do this, guys. But I'm seeing the same pattern. That's what you're looking for in the altcoin space. You're looking for inverse head and shoulders pattern or cup and handle patterns. All right, that's all I'm going to say for this video. You guys keep your eyes out on that, and especially watch the big dog here, our Bitcoin chart. Just to make sure we still haven't confirmed this breakout yet. That's a neckline break, yes, but there's no confirmation until we have 1 or 2 more candles closing above 24,200. And on that note, I'm out, y'all. See you later.